welcome back to Vlogmas. Today we are going to be doing another gift guide, but this one is going to be specifically for men. Now, some of these gifts can be gifted to anyone. They're not necessarily specific for men, but since the last one I kind of targeted as one for women or for her, I wanted to do one for men as well. Now, same thing, some of my things in my last video could also be good gifts for men as well. I had a lot of kitchen and just like random appliances in there that would work, but I wanted to try and share some extra things, and some of them are actually going to be the same or similar. So the first category that I want to go into is tech. So number one thing that I would get someone if they don't already have one would possibly be like a smartwatch. My husband has an Apple Watch. I gifted it to him probably a couple Christmases ago, but there's so many great brands now. There's Samsung, there's Garmin, there's Fitbit. Apple Watch, of course, has so many options, and there's ones with GPS and cellular. I just think they're very functional. I wear my Apple Watch every single day. I'm still a huge Apple Watch person, even though I do have an Aura ring. I love my Apple Watch, and just being able to get my information like right here without having to pull out my phone is really convenient. Also great for tracking fitness. My husband is getting into a fitness journey, so he likes to use his smartwatch to help track his workout. So a smartwatch is a good idea, especially for someone who loves tech. The next thing as far as tech is, I actually just mentioned it, is an Aura ring or another smart ring. So if you're not going to do a fitness tracker watch, maybe you could look into a fitness tracker ring. I think it's great to see my insights. I talked a little bit about this in my last video, so I'm not going to go too much into detail, but I think an Aura ring would be a really nice present to be able to, you know, track their fitness, track their sleep, just kind of get more insights on their body. I also talked about this in my last video, but another thing would be a great pair of headphones. So I shared last time that I have AirPods and I have the over-the-ear headphones, and I also shared that my husband ended up buying some of the same Quiet Comfort Bose headphones that I have, and he loves them and he uses them all the time. Like, he loves to, like when he's working out in the yard, have them in. He wears them to work. I'm gonna insert the ones that I have, again, the Bose Quiet Comfort, but just any pair of nice headphones. It doesn't have to be super fancy. My husband also has a pair of, I believe it's JBL, little like AirPod looking headphones that he uses for work, and they were, I want to say $30 or less on Amazon, so you can find some great options and they don't have to be super expensive. And then another thing for tech is a Bluetooth speaker. I use my Bluetooth speaker all the time. I have the JBL Go, I think it's 3, and it's like a pretty little color, but you can get so many different colors in them. It's water resistant, so I can have it by the pool and water gets splashed on it. It's okay. I bring it to the beach. It has a great sound, and it was pretty inexpensive. Again, I want to say this was less than $30 whenever I got it. And again, there are so many options of Bluetooth speakers. You can get high end, you can get low end, but I think that makes a great gift. It's always nice to have a Bluetooth speaker. So the next category, I am talking about some self-care. I know usually when we think of self-care stuff, we think of it for women and, you know, getting pampered, but it's okay for guys to get pampered too and, you know, get stuff to make them feel nice. So one of my favorite things to give Chance is, it's a brand called Jack Black, and they sell it at Sephora, at Ulta, maybe even Target, and it smells incredible, first of all, and he loves the products. He uses like the aftershave, he uses a body wash, there's a face wash, there's like a shampoo, there's a moisturizer with SPF, and they have so many great kits, especially around the holidays, that you can get them. That's my favorite, but there's also a ton of others. One year I got Chance, I think, a Harry's like travel little gift set as well. These are great options to give someone if they also want to try out some products. My husband especially usually just kind of buys whatever's cheapest at the store. He'll just kind of grab something and smell it, make sure it smells good. But this is a good time where I can like treat him to something a little bit nicer, and so that I think is a good present, because you can treat them to something that doesn't have to be super expensive, but maybe a little bit nicer than what they usually have. And then another option would be like a grooming kit. So, you know, clippers or anything like that. A nice pair. My husband actually has probably a couple pairs now. My husband cuts his own hair, and I think it always looks great. So I think a grooming kit is really nice. Most men, I'm sure, already have one, but it's never a bad thing to upgrade. So the next category I'm going to talk about is like clothes and accessories. So the first thing would be a custom wallet. My husband has gone through several wallets since we've been together. I think you can't go wrong with a nice wallet. You can customize them, you can get them engraved. Etsy has so many great ones, and there's a couple other websites that I'll actually talk about here in a little bit that have some good custom gifts, but I think a nice wallet you can't go wrong with, especially one that's customized. And then if your husband is not into tech, you can also get a normal watch just that looks nice as far as an accessory. There are a ton of great ones, especially now this time of year. I feel like they all go on sale. I've seen some great ones at Fossil. I've even seen some nice ones at like Target and Walmart. My husband was gifted a pretty watch when he was a groomsman in a wedding, and it was such a nice gift. I just feel like a nice watch is, again, something that you can't really go wrong with. So the next two things are things that my husband has and he absolutely loves and wears all the time. So the first one is a flannel like shacket jacket type thing. So my husband loves one of those flannels that is lined on the inside, whether it's like lined insulated or lined with like a faux Sherpa almost. They have a ton at Costco. That's mainly where he gets his from. You can find them really anywhere. If you go to the mall and a department store, I'm sure you'll find some. I feel like every time we go to the store and he sees another one, he wants to get it because he loves them so much. So I think those make a really nice gift. And then the last thing for clothing, my husband actually just got this. So we went to Costco and he got a heated vest and he loves that thing. He has already worn it so many times. He wears it outside to work on the yard and he has already worn it like several days in a row. It's a rechargeable battery pack and then you just press the little button and it keeps him so warm. Like he at one point was wearing it and he was like, I'm actually sweating. It keeps me so warm. Even if you don't live in a colder climate, but you still have like random cold days, I think it's a great option because, you know, it's a vest, so you can layer underneath it and also layer over it. He loves it and we're thinking about gifting it to some other people because it's so great. So my last category, I'm calling other because it's kind of random. Some of the stuff I feel like could go into like a kitchen category, but then I have another random thing. So first thing I want to talk about is something I actually talked about in my gift guide last year. So this is the website Uncommon Goods and they have so many great presents, gifts, personalized things to give someone. They're also perfect gifts for any time of year. It doesn't just have to be Christmas themed. Sports team stuff, there's NFL, NHL, I think there's college as well. There's like the history of certain teams, the history of like a sport in general, like the history of golf. I believe this website also has like custom wallets and that kind of stuff. I mean, there's so many things and it's fun to browse and look at that kind of stuff. And it also can give you some inspiration, even if you don't necessarily purchase anything from there, it can give you some ideas of what to give someone. I have been very impressed with everything I've ordered from that website, so I do highly recommend. I also think another gift that would be really nice, again, this is kind of going into the kitchen, is like a personalized cutting board. My husband loves to cook, and so I think a cutting board that either has his initials or his last name or just like a funny inside joke or something would be very nice. They do have some of those on Uncommon Goods, I believe, but you can also get them anywhere. If you just kind of Google personalized cutting board, you can find some, but I think that makes a very nice gift, especially for someone who loves to cook. And then going into the kitchen stuff again, so I actually got my husband a food saver for Christmas, which you saw a couple videos back, but he does know about it. It was supposed to be a surprise, and then I shared in that video that we saw it on clearance, so I ended up getting it when he was with me. My dad has always used a food saver. It's funny because we called it a zapper growing up, I think just because it like zaps it shut. My dad has always like frozen like meat and stuff like that, and it keeps it fresh for so long. My husband has wanted one for a while now, and we're finally getting him one. And the one I got is from Walmart, and it came with a couple bags. They have a great bundle at Costco, and I think Sam's Club as well, that I was going to get him if I hadn't gotten him the one from Walmart that was on clearance. I'm sure there's also off brands of food saver as well, but I do think that makes a great gift for someone who loves to cook. And then the last thing is also kind of kitchen themed. That's why I said this theme could also be kitchen, but then I had that random like Uncommon Goods thing in there anyway. So the last thing is some like grilling supplies. I bought my husband a like grill carrier thing from Aldi during the summer where he can put a roll of paper towels, and it has a handle, it has things on the side where you can hang a spatula, and then it's got something on the inside where you can put spices and stuff, and he can just carry that out straight to the deck and then bring it back inside. And it's been really nice and convenient for him when he's grilling to be able to pick that up, carry it out there, have the roll of paper towels and everything that he needs. And then there's also, I've seen on several websites, like personalized grilling tools, like a personalized spatula, personalized apron and stuff like that. So again, if you have a man that loves to cook, or you know, even just grill some hot dogs every now and then, I do think some grilling supplies would make a great gift. So that is everything I have for my men's gift guide. Again, like I said, some of the things in my last gift guide that I posted for women I think would be perfect for men as well, and I have all of that linked in that video, so you can take a look at that if you want some more ideas. But I hope you found this video helpful. If you would like to comment some things that you've maybe gotten the men in your life before and things that they loved, and share some more ideas for anyone who watches this. As always, thank you for watching this video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.